My guest today is director Aldo Giuliano, and he is known for his award winning short films both in Italy and internationally. Now, in 2016, he directed Penalty, which was shortlisted for the Nastro d'Argento, selected for 4 Oscar qualifying festivals, and won the 2017 Globo d'Oro. His debut feature film, Space Monkeys, was also released in theaters in 2022, but his newest soulful short film, Dive, is a bit of a haunting exploration of adolescent love in a world beset with violence. Now, the drama follows Roman and Julia, 2 young adults enjoying the vitality of their youth when their day out on the beach is suddenly shattered by the looming presence of war. Now, premiering at the 80th Venice Film Festival, where it was an official competition, the drama was further selected for other Oscar qualifying festivals and won the special award at the 2024 Nastro d'Argento, and the film has qualified for the 2025 Academy Awards. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome director Aldo Giuliano and his Oscar qualifying short film, Dive, to the show. Welcome.
Ciao, Ward. Hello. How are you? I'm very
I'm doing
excited for this interview.
I'm excited too because I love this film.
Thank you.
It is what I would call it's a film that has cinematic artistry, both in the storytelling and in the visuals of this film. So, what inspired you to direct such a very powerful, moving film?
Well, first of all, for me, a short film is a little movie, is a little jewel, no? So I spend a lot of time to understand better inside myself which kind of story reflect this contemporary time, no? And I remember when I read the first draft of this little story by my brother, written by my brother. He's a screenwriter. We work together every time. I remember this moment that I loved so much. This little story of these 2 teenagers on the beach, and what I felt when a lot of very bad news arrived from Ukraine and Russia about the war. So I remember I was scared. I was scared because I thought maybe the war arrived in a moment here too. So these two kind of emotion. So my directing approach on the story and like human beings, this kind of fear this, after this kind of emotions, I decided that no, it's time to tell this story. So I jump into the story with my brother, and we continued to investigate this situation in the reality and this sort of imaginary world of feelings of these 2 teenagers. Because I thought I wanna think about human feelings, the best of us. I think it's time because I was very scared about all these images. There is in the world 50 war, not once, not two. So the point is, we are crazy. We trying to go in another planet to survive, and in the same time here we destroy ourselves. Why? So it's time to come back, to embrace, to stay together, to do little things like to go onto the beach, to take a beer or something like that together with girl, friend, people that you love, and stay there, and you don't tell nothing. Just watch the sea. It's where when happens this, time doesn't exist. So I thought maybe I can use cinema to to represent this. So I decided to do this shot, only 12 minutes of this beautiful moment of us. and then I arrived to dive.
Yeah, and there is a strong contrast in this film of love and war. How did you go about visualizing it on film?
Yeah, it was very difficult because I created little progress, no, and for me the reality was the beach, no, the sand, the danger under the sand, so the bomb that can arrive in, no, in every moment, and the world inside these two teenagers. So this imaginary world, and for me, water is a sort of beautiful place where you can think about yourself without nothing, without no, without you put out the reality. No, all of us remember the moment when you go down and then swim, and I tried to make this contrast between the brutality, of the real situation of that places where the war exists, and this world inside these two teenagers that exist in the same time for them. So they became a sort of little strange creature under the water. Time doesn't exist, so they can breathe. Maybe, I don't know, but doesn't matter. No, they look each other. They want to touch. They want to stay together. So I started from the real photos of Odessa and Kharkiv. So just to remember that situation, I started from there. But no, I wanna evoke in English the all the a lot of other place, no, where the war exists. And about the imaginary world, I started from this beautiful painting of Arthur Diefenbach. Is a German painter, and I was shocked. I remember I was in Capri and in this exhibition, and when I was in front of these beautiful paintings, I felt a strange emotion, because in this painting there is black, that for me was death, and the blue, that is life. So for me, in that moment, I called Daniele Cipri, my director of photography. I make quickly a picture and tell Daniele, we have this imaginary world. Look this paint, look these colors, and then we start to build this other kind of world. So the contrast, we started from this, and then we arrived to these two different worlds.
I love that because I know that the young couple, they knew there were landmines on the beach because the sign was clearly present. They saw the sign, but they chose to take a chance being there. So in a way, being youthful, there are times you take a chance on love, you take a chance on life. Was the symbolism showing that they were taking that chance on love, life, and maybe a bit of freedom in the midst of war?
About innocent, no, about life, about young teenager, about when you are young, you, I think you watch better the reality, you feel better the situation about mother nature, no, the beauty you can feel, you want, so you are brave. So these two teenagers for me was a sort of incredible symbol of life. So they know that place is the beach where maybe they grew up there, is home, but they want to continue to survive, to live, and then decide to run like the dog. For me, the dog in this movie is the spirit of youth, no, because it's innocent. Animals are innocent, no, are totally connected with the nature. So I tried to do this little portrait, no, that for me is a sort of yeah representation of this kind of force that we need to have to fight against the reality. Because no, I love Stanley Kubrick too, or because he put in your face the best of us and the the worst. No,
Oh
and
yeah.
then maybe now it's time to stop to watch the horror, because no, now we watch no images of war and you don't do nothing. We are totally no blinded. Maybe it's time to fight for life, and cinema is a great instrument to show the beauty too, because we need to remember that it's the most important things. No, so I decided to find these two beautiful teenager just to to do this. I'm lucky. I'm not. I live in a territory in Italy. There's no war. I'm very lucky, and I spend a lot of time with the actors that they are Ukrainian, to share our opinions. No, what we feel, and I told them about my fear. They give me a lot of private no sensation, emotions, and little and sad stories about their life. But at the end we decided to portray their friendship, because my actor are friend from 6 year, and I think it was the best part of this work, trying to go deep in this friendship, because it's not love is we can't describe no love. It's impossible. So I tried to investigate inside myself too, because I remembered when I was a teenager, no, when I was shy to tell something to the girl that I love, and then this kind of symbol of freedom, of courage. We built together this kind of cinematographic things.
Yeah, and I noticed that in the film because courage was a very important element in this film because it took courage for them to go in the water. Of course, it was the dog's footprints in the sand that gave them the path, a safe path to go into the water to enjoy the freedom of that water. And what really surprised me was that it was the young girl that went first and not the young man. So why did she go first and ahead of him into the water? That really surprised me.
Good question. We spoke a lot. You are the first person that asked me this, but yeah, we discussed about a lot about this, because there is a hidden backstory behind these characters. So we thought that the character of Julia, when the story starts, she is very, she's confused. She thinks about a lot of things. So maybe she needs to do this first step. So, but we discussed it a lot, because no, Daniel is the most energetic character, no, but at the end he stayed there, and no, it's a little bit scared. So at the end, we decided that Julia is the first character that go. But at the end, the metaphor of the footprints was the most important things for me, like authors, because when they come back and not the water canceled all the footprints, that's time to run. But at the end, I wanna share with you these thoughts, because in the last screening, especially in LA and UK too, we spoke a lot about the last image of the movie, no, the footprints, human footprints, not the dog,
Right.
For me, this is a story, without time, without space. For me, innocent in the theory of my movie don't die at the end. There's no blood, but all the people imagine that this is the future of us, but not. At the end, for me, they run, and This is the most powerful thing for me, like author. Maybe other teenager will arrive in this beach, watching these footprints, and then decided to go, and then no, we continue to live. But in this time, we think every time about death. And then maybe a lot of people said, "Ah, but these two teenagers told me they are died." Did you watch Blood? Did you watch something like that? No, but this was a personal reflection that I want to share with you. But it was important, no, because at the end, okay, Julia, Daniel, who is the first one, but we are all the same. We need to go there all together, no, to follow these footprints. So maybe
Yeah,
it's
we're
time
gonna.
to to approach to the future in a different. I put all these things in these images, so I like to share with you a lot of reflection behind.
Yeah, because there's a lot of meaning in this film, but we're gonna get to the ending here in a bit because there's a lot of important elements in that ending. But there is a theme of motion in this film, from the ocean to them swimming in the water, the explosion of the dirt, even the movement of the wind. Why was the elements of motion so relevant to the story?
This for me is important in every movie. For me, it exists Mother Nature is the character, and sometimes, especially in this short film, is connected with the music. For me, the music is the voice of Mother Nature. So the wind too, it whisper something. So no, tell to this teenager, maybe it's time to go. Maybe no, be careful. And then I love to work on audio. uh, I spend a lot of time, especially about the concept of the music, and for me, is yeah, is modern nature that is there in penalty too. For me, is the voice of the nature that tell to the people that cry, no, because we there is a self destruction of ourselves. So I try to use in this way the music, the audio, the wind, the sand, the noise of the footprints too. No, I
Oh
want to
yeah.
feel the note.
Yeah, because you kept the dialogue to just a few words in the film, which I love, by the way. Just watching the couple have fun on the beach before going into the water was a great reminder of how innocence or an innocent youth really is. And you captured it so beautifully. But then you mentioned this earlier. Their white dog played a symbolic part in this film. And of course, it was his tracks in the sand that showed the couple the path to the water and, in a little way, a path to the freedom that the water can bring. And so I also know that a white dog can symbolize light, goodness, and even hope. And you only show that white dog, I think, once in the whole film, but it was very, very important.
Yes, I put the image of the dog for. You remember when the short film starts from behind, no? Because for me it was the subjective of minds, but the dog, no, is safe. But I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For you, this is the first images or the last, or the end of the movie, because it's the same. Because the hat, no, disappear in the center of the story. So maybe this is the story of the two teenagers that unfortunately died for this story, and then the dog arrives and take this hat, and we, thanks to the cinema, come back and we tell to this story, or is the last part, no, and they survive, and maybe is the very start because he took the hat and give to the teenager, and then the story starts. I create a sort of circle of life because for me it's not important at the end of the movie, but the feelings that I share with you. So the dog, it was a good instrument, magic instrument. Exist, doesn't exist. What mean doesn't matter. It's the best part of ourself, no, that stay there. And then I played with a lot of I played with cinema, no, and using the dog to do all these things. I hope
Yeah,
that arrived to people, not like it's a sort of inside joke, no,
yeah, yeah. I know
but
it.
very important, but important because it's a sort of circle.
Yeah, very much so. And that's the thing about this film. It in a way it does come full circle. And when they were coming out of the water, when they were coming out of the water, I went back and I replayed the scene of them standing there before they ran back onto the beach. And I kept looking at, so I would pause the shot and I kept looking at their faces. And at their the when you look at the expression on their faces before they ran back, there was fear. It was scary because they saw the tracks gone and they knew they were taking a very big chance to run back onto the beach. Of course, you have the helicopters, you've got the jets, you've got missiles, you got things going on because of war. And when I was looking at that scene, and I kept thinking, okay, that means the transitioning from youth to adulthood is scary. And war can make even the youngest child grow up too fast. Correct?
Exactly, exactly. The point is, we discussed it a lot with my brother, the screenwriter and the editor, Marcus Poletini. I love his approach to the story because it's very synthetic. When war arrives, all is finished. You can't come back. We decided to dance with them in a very positive way at the when the story starts, because at the end, if you watch this broken mobile, no, is a sort of symbol too, because they never, if they are alive, they never hear in the same way that song. It's impossible. It's another kind of death. It's another kind of you grow. Yeah, you grew up. The it's perfect the metaphor that you explain it, because it's impossible to come back. So and the war, I was shocked when I started to investigate the part of reality, no, because I was shocked of these images from internet, from web. Mm, I was not shocked of the war, but uh, uh, the courage of the people that come back to their beach, no, to put umbrellas, take the sun. Uh, all happens so fast in the same time. I watched the very bad images that the bomb exploded, no? So at the end, when I arrived in the last scene with Marco, the editor, we was in we took this decision. Don't do classic cinema. So don't describe the water with a shot that canceled. Don't do, because it's fake time. Now we are in the reality, and when war arrives, it's quick. They run, but it was very difficult to build that on editing this kind of scene, because the timing was very important. because the story changes. No, the young teenager are not young, and then you can't do the same things that you know
Well,
of the
see,
past.
well, yeah, because Aldo, the ending, and I can see why audience members, when they see the ending, they automatically think, oh, okay, they both died. But if you look at it from the point of storytelling, what I'm looking at it, I mean, my first thought would be, okay, they died. But I've watched this film more than once. And when I get to the end, I'm looking at it like, so when you see the explosion of the dirt, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, let's look at the symbolism and the metaphor of just that scene. When you see the dirt overcome, because the direction of the dirt is important because it's coming from the top to the bottom, not from the bottom to the top. So when it goes from the top to the bottom, it's burying it's like it has buried their youth. Not necessarily that the fact if they died or not. It buried their youth, and that youth in that moment is not coming back because life before that and life after will be completely different. So
Different.
you see the explosion of the dirt coming from top to bottom. That is basically burying, because the effect and the emotional effect is completely different based on the direction of that. And then you did that on purpose. And the other thing was at the very ending of the film, I paused it because, everybody notices the cell phone with the sand over it. But just to the left of that cell phone is a lone paw print. And when I looked at the paw print, that means that the dog had walked over after the landmine went off. And then right at the top left corner is the hat. So there's a special meaning in that scene, isn't there?
Exactly. You watch at the very in a very good way my movie. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I think that for me it's a sort of little puzzle movie, So sometimes it's better to leave to the audience, the time to understand all these pieces. And maybe no, you watch it two times. For me, is a special gift because if you desire to watch another time the movie, is because you wanna search other things because you know that are there. So my responsibility is to leave the movie to the people. So don't explain to no. It's better. We play together. No, I do movies for the audience, and then the audience give to me emotions. So that's the reason why you share with me all this sensation, and it was a perfect explanation in a perfect English, not like my English that is Italian. It's funny, but yeah, in your words there is all the description of the end. I can tell other things because no, it's
Well, that's
perfect.
that's what makes people like you a great director, because when it comes to short films, you have to have these little clues, these little nuances within the film because they're so important to the story, because I don't think cinema should be viewed as just what you see. You have to emotionally experience. You've got to kind of, as an audience member, we have to, I think the film becomes bigger when you try to put your feet into the shoes of the director and to look through the lens that he was looking at to create the story, because this is a very artistic, emotional, spiritual type story to tell with the elements of love and war. So on top of that, you bring in an amazing soundtrack to this film. You already have the elements of nature playing around them. You have virtually almost no dialogue. There's probably maybe 6, 7 words even spoken in this film, again, which I love. But with that soundtrack, Aldo, when they dived into the water, you hear it, but then that soundtrack is slowly brought up. It was dramatic yet beautiful. So tell me about the soundtrack.
Yeah, the start was a movie without words, no? Because when you stay with the people that with a person that you love, you don't need words. You understand all. So the point is, with what means music in this movie, no? So I decided to show internet and the funny music with the song of Ricky Poveri, that is one of the most famous song in Italy and outside in the East too. So totally changed the world now when they go into the water. And then, thanks to Enrico Melozzi, that is a great composer, Italian composer, that and El Salila, that have this incredible voice, I found this ancient from Kosovo. It's a song from Kosovo, and played by Elsa. That for me was it was incredible because when with the Marco put that music under these images. Sometimes happens this kind of magic no moment in cinema and it was perfect because start like a little uh, romantic start with this romantic sound and then became like a sort of she cried maybe no it's a sort of she screamed and wow when I put the music there, I something inside myself was broken. So I decided with the Marco to follow the music there. So the editing, no, we start with these paintings under the water, but at the end we follow the music because was so natural, no? Because we discussed a lot with the composer Enrico to understand the scene, and he just sent to me this music. Is not original music because he played in another moment of his artistic life with Elsa, like the music of Ricky Poveri. Is my first time that I use music not original, but for this movie was perfect because no the connection was with my feelings and when I heard Ricky Poveri I started to dance with my friends and then I decided that no okay I am happy the actors are happy this is the music the beat is perfect no and when I heard the music of Elsa wow I cried
It,
in all the theaters. I every time I stay back, no, and I watch the people. So when start recovery, people do this.
well, it's
When
so
arrive the music
beautiful.
of Elsa, people really is totally scared and touched. A lot of people shared with me this moment that cried. So I thought that was the right choice to follow my emotions and I arrived to choose this music
Yeah, because the cinematography of the underwater scene and with the music, and then you have the light rays coming from the top of the water, and there's something so serene and beautiful about that scene because it's like an aquatic dance. But then when they come up out of the water, you instantly hear the roar of the ocean. And it's almost like you went into this beautiful, quiet, serene peaceful sense of freedom because that's what swimming in water does. There's a freedom to it. But then you break the surface and life comes rushing back with a roar, and it just worked so beautifully, Aldo.
And the words of this music is a nostalgic song that speaks about a man that left his country because of war. So nobody knows this, but I want to share with you this because this word is a sort of no another elements that helps all this moment. And thanks for your compliments. Thank
Well,
you.
you're very welcome. Well, what has been the overall reaction from the audiences that have seen this film?
So emotional. A lot of people arrived to meet that wanna speaks about no all these moments, and then I think that the best gift no that the movie and the audience give to me, and for me it's very important to stay in each screening to share other things with people, not technically, but no about this. No, there was a I fighted against the weather too with my friend in production because we decided to shoot the nature, the wind, the this bad beach when the rain arrives. So it was very difficult. For the actors too, they was freezing because we shooted in uh, end of January, February. So imagine. But they decided to do this because they believed in this story. So I remember one day that Veronica was so freezing that she falls down and then come back to act, and she told me, Aldo, it's okay, and shaking her hand, and it's okay, or I can do another time. So this kind of love for the story is the key of this short, I think, and arrive to the people. When at the end of the screening, people wanna speak about the shorts, it's not because Aldo is a great director. It's because I put all these things inside. I think
Oh, very much so.
I
Now,
tried, but
yeah. Oh, I could, yes, because, and I can imagine audience members shedding tears while watching this film. Now, did you shoot this with real film?
did you shoot? Sorry.
Did you shoot this film with real film?
Yeah.
I was wondering because it adds the realism and the depth to the whole story. And so I was kind of wondering if you used real film and not digital because it has that look. And
The
and I
digital is only the war, well, just 2 3 points, but the nature is this. I never use it. Just color grading and
Yeah, and I noticed that. And so it works so beautifully in this whole story, this whole film. And for you, how does it feel to be Oscar qualified?
wow, it's a dream. It's a dream because I have more people in no more screening. That's the best things of Oscar campaign because no, okay, my dream like a director could be to speak no there with other people. But the most important things, I live for cinema, so I can share a lot of moments with my audience. So for me, the campaign is this, and I'm very happy. I was no, in LA, in London, and I have the jet lag now, but I have another screening in here in Italy. But I'm very happy because no, we live for this, and this is the best part. Okay, the competition, the Oscar, it's is this no, there is rules, there is but the most beautiful things is to stay with people sharing a lot of thoughts about about this work. So I'm very happy.
Incredible work, Aldo. And ladies and gentlemen, the short film Dive is an exploration of adolescent love in a world beset with violence. The drama follows Roman and Julia, two young adults enjoying the vitality of their youth when their day out on the beach is suddenly shattered by the looming presence of war. Now, the very minimum use of dialogue allows you to experience the film on a deeper level into your subconscious to relive your long lost youth. We can see how youth is fleeting from the moment of love, joy, freedom, and a bit of living in a dream, and all of it shattered with the strong introduction of war, an element of life that we can't control. War steals adolescence, youth, hopes, and in some cases, dreams. And in this poignant film called Dive, it leaves us wanting to relive our own youth. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and the use of real film gives it depth, just like the souls of Roman and Julia, even before they dive into the ocean. Now, the soundtrack adds so much emotion. As Roman and Julia dive into the water, the music brings them together in an aquatic dance that is beautiful and free, exactly what love should be. Now, being under the water and away from the realities of life is a feeling we need to experience more, and Aldo gives us that feeling in this compelling film. And I want to thank you, Aldo, for sharing your film with me today, and much success to you on your Oscar journey.
Thanks, thanks, really thanks. We need peace, and we need beautiful movies that speaks about human beings, because no, we need to survive and continue.
Oh, amen to that. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, cinema is about emotion, it's storytelling, not just necessarily in dialogue, but also in moving pictures, because there's a lot you can do with the movement of the lens. So, as for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'll either see you at the movies or from the red carpet.